Good morning, Patriots.
Good morning.
Welcome to the 340th consecutive Friday meeting of the East Valley Red Friday Patriots. There are 101 Patriots in attendance this morning. That count was taken 3 or 4 times because I could not believe it. I figured that we might hit 90 today, but this is great. Great turnout. Thanks for joining us. You know, we have a commitment to demonstrate support for America's deployed service members, and what better way to do it than this sea of red that I see out here this morning. Thank you. So here we are at the beginning of December month with a very busy 2025 virtually in our rearview mirror now, but the year is not quite over. This month of December includes numerous military commemorations, to include Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day, the birthday of the National Guard, National Wreaths Across America Day, and the birthday of America's newest branch of service, the United States Space Force. And we will acknowledge and commemorate each of those particular events during the month of December. So again, thank you for your phenomenal support for those that are deployed, and thank you for your patriotism. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'm sure that that most, if not all of you, at some time have maintained a cherished military heirloom or memorabilia that may be either on prominent display or carefully stored away for easy access. These might be items that have significant meaning for you and your family, such as a photo, encased burial flag, armed forces medals, uniform appurtenances, maybe letters from home, from a loved one who was serving our nation. There's a story behind every one of those treasures, and we simply cannot allow those stories to fade away, be forgotten, never to be repeated. This morning, we'll learn of one such treasured item as told by Karen Confederate, treasurer of the Apache Trail Chapter, Daughters of the American Revolution, and honorable member of this Red Friday group. Please welcome Karen Confederate.
Well, good morning. So I have a story about the POW bracelets that were very popular in the 70s to honor those POWs from Vietnam. So this story was written by a DAR member in, I believe, Cincinnati, Ohio. Her name is Amy Barron, and it's just a short article about the history of how the bracelets came to be. And then I'm going to add a little bit of a personal touch at the end. During the Vietnam War era, many people wore bracelets inscribed with the name of an American prisoner of war, POW, and this is the story about how those bracelets came to be. In 1970, 2 Los Angeles college girls, Carol Bates Brown and Kay Hunter, wanted to support U.S. troops in Vietnam. Members of the student group Voices in Vital America, VIVA, which was founded to publicize the plight of Vietnam/Southeast Asia POWs and men missing in action, the MIAs, had met with the wives of 3 MIA pilots who hoped that the students could draw attention to the missing soldiers. The girls visualized a bracelet to remember those who were missing. Kay Hunter moved on to other activities, and Carol was joined by another student, Steve Frank, and their adult advisor, Gloria Coppin. The design they developed was a simple bracelet, reportedly only costing between 30 and 75 cents to make, and inscribed with the missing man's name, rank, and date of loss. The idea was that the bracelet would be worn until the soldier returned home, and then the bracelet might be sent to him, or until the remains of the soldier were brought back home. Nickel-plated bracelets for students were $2.50, and copper bracelets for adults were $3. After expenses, money raised was to go to the POW MIA support programs. A small shop in Santa Monica, California, that did engraving agreed to make 10 sample bracelets, but even with those, the group was unable to get a sponsor to donate money to make the bracelets. For distribution to college students. Gloria's husband donated the copper and the brass for the initial 1,200 bracelets, and the Santa Monica engraver agreed to make them, with payment coming from the sale proceeds. In September 1970, Viva representatives went to Washington, D.C. and spoke at the National League of Families meeting. The wives and families of men who were MIA were enormously interested in the bracelets. The group was also supported by Bob Dornan, a Los Angeles talk show host and later U.S. congressman, who spoke about the bracelets on his program. Viva officially launched its bracelets program on Veterans Day 1970. In the short time, they were receiving orders for more than 12,000 bracelets per day. Carol and Steve dropped out of college to work for Viva full-time. Carol eventually became Viva's national chairman of the POW MIA bracelet campaign, with entertainers Bob Hope and Martha Ray as honorary chairman. When was the last time you saw a picture of those two? In 1976, the group had distributed almost 5 million bracelets. The author of this article, Amy Barron of the Cincinnati chapter, supported the cause in 1971 and received a nickel bracelet with the name of U.S. Air Force Captain Keith Hall. Captain Hall was captured on January 10, 1968, when his plane was hit by enemy fire. He was released on March 14, 1973, after nearly 5 years in captivity. The author, Amy Barron, contacted now Major Hall, who was living in Florida, and told him she wore his bracelet. He wrote back thanking her. Years later, while she was researching for a DAR National Defense presentation about POWs during the American Revolution, she once again came across Major Hall's name. She contacted him again. He was still living in Florida and asked that she keep his bracelet, as he had received several others in his possession. Amy Barron treasures his letters, and the bracelet, and states that she will never forget those POWs. Another POW is Lieutenant Commander Richard "The Beak" Stratton, whose military career spanned from 1966 to 1973. He served on USS Ticonderoga, CVA-14 Air Wing, 19 Attack Squadron, VA-192. During his time serving as a naval aviator, Lieutenant Commander Stratton flew 22 combat missions, earned 2 air medals, and the Combat Action Ribbon. He came from a long line of military veterans. His father, Charles Stratton, was a World War II U.S. Navy veteran and a World War II Massachusetts State Guard veteran. His brother, Charles Stratton Jr., served in the Korean War as a U.S. Marine. Lieutenant Commander Richard Stratton was captured by the North Vietnamese on January 5, 1967, after he ejected from his A-4 Skyhawk over the Thanh Ho province. His mission was to bomb the Mai Trak ferry, but was shot down while trying to locate it. His stay at the Hanoi Hilton lasted 2,251 days. In a biography, Prisoner of War, The Survival of Commander Richard A. Stratton, was written in 1978 by Scott Blakely, captures his experience as a POW, as well as exploring an incident that occurred in 1967 in which Stratton was forced to a North Vietnamese officer. Photographer Lee Lockwood captured the bow, which was published in Life magazine. The photo enraged the world and shed light on the mistreatment and brainwashing of the POWs. After 2,251 days at the Hanoi Hilton, Stratton was released on March 4th, 1973, as part of the Second Democratic Republic of Vietnam increment, Operation Homecoming. 3 flights brought home 108 POWs, while a prisoner, Lieutenant Commander Stratton, was promoted to commander, served with the 4th Allied POW Wing, Hanoi, Democratic Republic of Vietnam, and earned a Silver Star, the Legion of Merit with V, Device for Valor, the Bronze Star Medal with V, the Navy Commendation Medal with V, the Purple Heart, and the Prisoner of War Medal for service as a prisoner of war. Stratton held various assignments from 1976 to his retirement from military duty in 1986 and became a licensed clinical social worker specializing in children, families, addiction, and PTSD. He retired for good in 2001 and lived the rest of his life in Florida. He died on January 18th, 2025, at the age of 93. And this is his POW bracelet that my mother Stella bought back in the 1970s. I don't know where she bought it. I don't know who she got it from, how much she paid for it, but I do remember her wearing it. She kept it all these years, and it was in her jewelry box that I inherited when she passed away just over 10 years ago. Today, I'm happy to be able to share it with you and share Lieutenant Commander Stratton's story, which resulted in a happy ending. He lived a good long life, and even though he endured the physical and mental torture, he was not forgotten by people like my mother who cared enough to purchase the bracelet. Thank you.
Karen, that was an outstanding story. Thank you. Absolutely beautiful story. Ladies and gentlemen, I have the distinct pleasure of introducing our guest speaker for today's program, Command Sergeant Major Sean Stoddard, U.S. Army Reserve, who currently serves as the Senior Enlisted Advisor for the 4th Battalion, 361st Infantry Regiment, 91st Training Division Operations. Sergeant Major Stoddard is a native of Mesa, and in his teen years, Sean participated in Boy Scouts of America, earning Eagle Scout, graduated Mountain View High School in 2001, where he met Rebecca, his wife of 18 years. Following high school, Sean earned a Bachelor of Science degree in Criminal Justice and Criminology from Arizona State University, summa cum laude, and earned a Master of Arts degree in Organizational Leadership from Brandman University. Served a mission in Brazil, then enlisted in the United States Army to serve his country. His military occupational specialties include 31 Bravo, military police, and 38 Bravo, civil affairs, plus multiple additional skill identifiers, including conventional physical security, battle staff operations, and master resilience trainer. His multiple deployments include 3 as a soldier NCO to Cuba, Iraq, and Afghanistan. The Sergeant Major is the recipient of more than 30 military honors issued by the United States Army and other branches of the military, to include the Combat Action Badge, the Bronze Star, and the Meritorious Service Medal. He is also the recipient of his Military Police Corps Regiment's highest honor, the Order of the Marechaussee, in recognition of exceptional dedication, competence, and contribution to the Military Police Corps Regiment over an extended period of time. More recently, he served as the first sergeant for a civil affairs company and is currently enrolled in the Sergeant Major's Academy. In addition to his military police service, Sean served as a law enforcement officer for more than 15 years with the Mesa Police Department, with assignments in patrol, as well as the department's personnel hiring unit and the department's school resource program. He's also contributed much of his time to numerous community outreach programs, including multiple years with the Youth Leadership Academy, the Police Appreciation Days, Shop with a Cop, and other holiday giving programs. 5 years ago, in 2020, Sean sustained a severe traumatic brain injury from an on-duty collision, which almost ended his life. He required significant time in therapy to relearn how to speak, eat, retain memory, walk, and drive. As he continues therapy, his recovery thus far from the injury sustained is nothing short of a miracle. Sean is the founder, president, and chief executive officer of the Archangels, a nonprofit organization that labors to assist military personnel, veterans, and first responders. He has been actively engaged in producing moral welfare and recreational activities on personal and community levels to support our veterans and first responders. These activities include the Veterans Day Community Fun Run, Walk, and Ride 5Ks, golf tournaments to raise money for military and first responder families in need, as well as fundraisers and financial support for families of the fallen. His nonprofit efforts include sponsoring clinics for veterans on suicide prevention, combating post-traumatic stress disorder and post-traumatic stress, which include equine therapy and art therapy clinics, and building camaraderie within the groups. The Archangels program is active in holiday giving programs as well. Sean actively serves in his local church and proudly emphasizes that his greatest joy is being a father and husband to his wife, Rebecca, and 5 children. He lives every day with gratitude, hope, and a striving to love and serve his neighbors. Sean will be the first to proclaim that there is joy in service. Sean often shares a particular Latin phrase with those who might be experiencing pain, troubles, or challenges in their life. That phrase is, amor antidotum est. Love is the antidote. Ladies and gentlemen, here to share his story of service to our nation and our communities, please welcome Command Sergeant Major Sean Stoddard.
Greetings, extended family. It's good to be with you. Happy Friday. It's a blessing to be here, and I sincerely believe every day is a gift. Every breath is a gift, and I'm grateful to share them with you. I don't know if you woke up this morning and you're like, hey, today I want to do therapy for a Command Sergeant Major. Well, you did it, so good job. This is therapeutic for me. I am still doing therapy after the exciting traumatic brain injury, which left me in a coma, and when I came out of the coma, I was blind, and then as I regained my vision, my better half, who will be here, she's she is here. Okay, everyone, she's incredible. She's my my eternal therapist, and I'm grateful for her. She's had the exciting opportunity to, when she was born, she was delivered by the same doctor, Dr. Levitt, that I was delivered by 2 years before in Mesa, and then she moved to Yuma, and she spent a lot of exciting time in Yuma, came back, met this crusty guy, and I tried to woo her, and it took some time, but eventually, years later, she married me. And like most folks that are dreaming of a wonderful wedding, we were set to be married June 1st, and then the Army said, no, you're not. You're going to be in Iraq. So we quickly, as our parents were super excited about, moved up the wedding so that I could be there for the wedding. So we moved up to May 15th. And then, 10 days later, I left for Iraq, which is what every girl dreams of. Just one day I want to find a guy who will spend time with me and leave for Iraq. So I left for Iraq, came back for a year of excitement. And my battle buddies that are no longer with us, Specialist Peterson, Sergeant Arceza, and the sad thing is there's a ripple effect. I still try to reach out and take care of my extended family with the different struggles. Sergeant Arceza, Specialist Peterson, oh, brain injuries are the worst. Sergeant Arceza, you know what's exciting is when you're relearning everything and you're trying to peel back the brain onion. It is what it is. Nonetheless, I can focus on the frustration, the anger, the disappointment, or like we just shared, love is the antidote. I'm going to love my extended family, and with gratitude, I drink water and drive on the best that I can. So I got back from Iraq, and then we had the opportunity to have our first family member be born, Maribel, and then I left for Afghanistan. And while I was there training the Afghan folks, every once in a while I got to come back to a main base, Bagram Airfield, and I was able to record me reading a story to my daughter who was growing up with mom. And I would record stories, me reading these stories, and then get back to the excitement. So that's how Maribel was raised with my better half. I am grateful for her. Thank you all for my therapy today. Training. I know in the Army it's like, oh, therapy's, there's some people that are concerned about therapy, but therapy's good. There's nothing, and it's training. If you want to replace the word therapy with training. Thank you for the training. You're making me better as we navigate the challenges and ailments. But if everyone can give we love you, Rebecca, and a clap to her. That would be great. We love you, Rebecca. You. Okay, so we have a video I think that Dick wanted to share with some of the you want to play that one? Every time I watch that, it's powerful. Sergeant Fairchild. That was the name I was trying to think of. But as you saw throughout all of that, the enemy is real. The enemy seeks to destroy and disrupt and break apart and tear us apart in every possible way, with different ways physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, and with IEDs, improvised explosive devices, with grenades, RKGs, RPGs. There's an endless number of things. Snipers, and you don't see it in any of these videos, but there was a point where someone came up, and I got out of my vehicle with my interpreter and went over and was chatting with them, and then I went back to get in the vehicle. And as with war, there's horrible, awful things that happen consistently, daily, routinely, but there's also always, always, always more good. Always more good. And just as I was getting back in my vehicle, my Humvee, my driver foot started to gas the vehicle a little bit before I got in, and then he stopped, and it was just enough time to move a pole that's used for tactical reasons, but it moved just like 2 inches. But those 2 inches were just enough so that right when the sniper shot, it went right into that Duke antenna, and it changed the trajectory, and it split right between the gunner and I. The sniper was unable to hit us because of a miracle. Miracles happen daily, routinely, every single day, and we don't understand them. This last year, as I've been striving to try to help the next generation of folks, I've been helping out with folks, with the youth at my church, and we went to Zion National Park and we did some canyoneering. I don't know if anyone's done that, but go through canyons and zip lining and stuff. But while we were there, I had the opportunity to fall and break my finger, and it was super exciting. And then, after it was broken, because there's no signal there in the middle of the canyons, I fell, and it was excruciating, and they yelled, "Hey, John, are you okay?" And so I knew it was broken, and I yelled, "Yes!" But so I made it through that canyon, and with rappelling and everything with one hand, which is pretty remarkable. And as I made it to the end of it, I talked to a physical therapist who happened to be with us. I was like, "Hey, do you think my finger's broken?" He's like, "Yes, you need to go to the hospital now." But because they were short on leaders and stuff, I was like, if I leave, then the kids can't continue the canyon. So I know it's an excruciating pain, but I asked him, what can I do with this? And he's like, you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, okay, but outside of that, what can I do? I was like, ibuprofen, keep it elevated, drink water. I'm like, all right, let's do it. So overnight, I did that, ibuprofen, drink water, and the next day, it was lots of different colors, but it wasn't worse. So my thought was, if it's not worse, we're going to continue the mission. And so we did. We did that day, and I later got it x-rayed because my better half was like, "You need to get that x-rayed." And I did, and I'm like, "It's broken." So, but I bring that up because with the difference, with miracles, like it's a miracle that I'm with this beautiful better half. It's a miracle that I'm here after the traumatic brain injury with the coma and all that fun stuff. It's a miracle. There's miracles. Now, I still have pain. My memory is not the greatest. I've done lots of exciting therapies, hyperbaric oxygen therapy, Vitania, Heal the Hero, brain tap, psychology, neurology, a lot of exciting things that now I have firsthand experience on that I can share with you. And as I've been striving to go through this, there's been some things that I wish were different, but we don't get to dictate how miracles happen and what they are. And so as I've been pushing on forward with gratitude and hope and serving, and our sphere of influence is limited. It's not our job, it's not our mission to save the world. As a Christian, Jesus Christ has already done that. So mission's accomplished, it's over. Now we just have to strive to choose which team we're on. So as we are striving, there's joy in service, and I think that's a good point to bring up the next video. Dick, can you bring up the next video? I give you guys the love hand. And this, after my injury, I was brought together with a lot of folks that were dealing with fighting cancer, and it was a room very similar to this. And as I was talking to them, they all shared, "We love you," which is absolutely where we should be. When we are all struggling and going through whatever difficult challenge we are family, we are battle buddies, and we're stronger together with whatever our ailments are. Each and every single one of us has different ailments and challenges and frustrations holistically as we're striving to improve. But we are stronger together, and thank you for strengthening me and making a difference. And I strive to do this, the same for our extended family. They mentioned archangels, so in that first video that we watched, when we were in Iraq, we were the 3rd Platoon Archangels, and when we got back from Iraq, a lot of my battle buddies were struggling, and so I'd reach out to businesses, organizations, and say, "Hey, can you help them out?" And they're like, "What do you want?" I'm like, "I don't want anything. I just want you to help them." And they're like, "Yeah, we only work with nonprofits or business organizations." And I'm like, "Okay, how do you start those?" So I got with Mesa United Way, good folks, and we were able to create a nonprofit. They're like, "Well, what do you want to name it?" I'm like, "Well, we're in Iraq, so we were the Archangels. Call it the Archangels." So that's where Archangels and the patch. This is the patch that we wore as 3rd Platoon Archangels. So it's very connected to my extended family. When we still get together, one's flying in later this month, and we're going to be doing Shop with the Cop, Shop with the Sheepdog together, helping out with the service members and their families that are struggling in different capacities. We've got, we just did the Mesa parade, a Veterans Day parade, and my battle buddy, who's an Army battle buddy, and former Marine, Viesquez, was out there as well. Anyways, we consistently go to baseball games together. The family of some of the extended family that are no longer with us, like Peterson, his family comes out. We go to the baseball games together at preseason. And then we did the golf tournament, or like for Sergeant Arceza, after he passed away, and all the money, 100% of it, goes to help out the families. And then we pair up on each of the holes. There was 9 holes, so we brought in 9 nonprofits to go to each hole. So every time that the service member, whoever was golfing, they got paired up. They had a good time, like Paralyzed Veterans America, things like that. And we make $0.00. It's all voluntary, and so the blessings come from God. And there's a reason for me to be here. There's a reason for all of you individually to be here. So our battle buddies are not. And they're doing work on the other side of the veil, and they're being worked on. Okay, that's not for us to worry about. What we can focus on is our sphere of influence, which is right here, right now. Dick, I think we get one more video. Thank you. I love you guys, my extended family. So there was a picture of the vehicle that got rear-ended. Here's an interesting thing about that. Again, miracles happen like we don't even know all the miracles that happen consistently every single day. That patrol car, vehicle number 1234, I had that thing for years. Great car, never had any issues. 10 days before I got rear-ended. Like, "Hey, Officer Stoddard, we've had some issues with the Crown Vic this year. Sadly, there's an issue when people get rear-ended. Officers have burned to death, and there's some issues with it. So we're going to take it and we're going to fix it." Okay, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Please do. 10 days later, it's a miracle. Like, consistently. We don't even see all of them. But, yeah, I was in a coma, so I'm not climbing out of that thing. I was gone. And the officers that responded, one was a school resource officer, one was a guy that I served with in Afghanistan. Here we are in Afghanistan serving in the Army. And I'm like, "Hey, you'd make a great police officer. What do you do in the civilian world?" He's from Philadelphia. And I'm like, "You should come be a police officer in Mesa. Put in your application." So he did. He put in his application, came out, moved to Arizona, became a Mesa police officer, and then several years later responded to me when I was in a coma from Afghanistan to help him, a battle buddy. Going the opposite direction was I moved outside of Mesa because when I was, my daughter that I mentioned that was in, when I deployed to Afghanistan, I got back and there was a guy that I had the opportunity to, he was unhappy with himself, with his neighbors, with his extended family, and he ended up, he needed a safe place to go to think about things. So as a police officer, I gave him a safe, quiet place to go to think about things so he didn't hurt himself and others. Well, then I ended up bringing my daughter over to Fry's, and I realized I can't live in Mesa. So we moved outside of there. But going the opposite direction, now I lived about an hour from Mesa. Going the opposite direction, when the injury happened, a firefighter who happened to live an hour away from me, lived right up the street, and happened to be there and flipped around and called. Anyways, I know that times are running short. Let me just share. I've got, as folks are struggling, know that I got your six. If anyone needs any help, I think this is being recorded, so my phone number, 480-570-8347. You can go back and watch this, and you can get my phone number. You can call, text me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, whatever. If I don't respond, hit me up again. Maybe there's an error. Okay, as we're closing this thing down, I want to give this challenge coin. Nancy, come on up here. Okay, so here's, I don't know, challenge coins are a thing now. They've been for many years. This is mine that I designed. Oh, in one of the videos it said that I was in the Sergeant Major Academy. I'm past the Sergeant Major Academy. I've been a Sergeant Major now, Command Sergeant Major for over 2 years, going up on 3 years, for my infantry battalion. Okay, all right, so Nancy, let me explain this real quick as I close this thing down. Okay, so this is my challenge coin. CSM Sean Stoddard, my better half, helped me to design it. She's always better, and it's good times. And then I have, we are 4th Battalion, 361st Infantry Regiment, OCT. Our challenge coin, mine and the Colonel's, is a cactus, because, you know, Phoenix and cactus. And as we shrunk it down, the cactus, so it's small in here, and you can't really see all the detail on it, but like it has the Arizona flag as part of the cactus, and the star is the Army Reserve Star, the Army Star, and then you've got several things like Habitus Gratiae, which is have gratitude. If we have gratitude, it changes our perspective. Ali Confirma, we're stronger together. Hopefully I have strengthened you in some capacity, but you have strengthened me. And I mean that sincerely. Thank you for this. Thank you for strengthening me. We are stronger together. And with God, all things are possible. Faith, Familiar Liberdade, which is Portuguese for faith, family, liberty. Our country is unique and special. It is here, and it helps people to be able to practice and have faith and believe what they and have faith in whatever tradition that they want. I'm a Christian, and I can believe that, and other folks can believe what they want, but they can't do that in every country. Our country is unique. I could go on a long time about that, but Onus Donus S and Amor Antidotum, you guys heard of that. Love is the antidote. Be all you can be. One team, semicolon, one fight, because it's all paused as we go through things. There's a pause. Every day we die. When we go to sleep, when we wake up, it's a new birth. And eventually we will die and be resurrected, even our battle buddies that are no longer with us. Okay, the backside, there's some broken pieces of this, and that is kintsugi, Japanese kintsugi. When a vase is broken, they repair it with gold or platinum the best that they can, and that is God consistently repairing us and making us better. We may be broken. We may never, ever, ever be the same after we're healed and we're fixed and repaired, but we're better. Okay, I know that my time is short, so I could talk about this for a long time, but thank you, Nancy and Dick. I've got one for you as well. Thank you, Nancy. Love you. Okay, Dick, I got one for you. Here we go. It's in here. Okay. Thank you, Sergeant Major.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hang on one second.
Thank you all while he's doing the technical stuff. I sincerely love you guys, and you will be in my prayers of gratitude. Thank you. Thank you, Battle. I appreciate you. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Sean, bear with me just one moment, but I do want to take this opportunity to present you with a certificate welcoming you to the Order of the R.E.D. And this states that we hereby recognize and commend Sean Stoddard, Command Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Reserve, for his honorable military service, veteran support initiatives, and support of the East Valley Red Friday Patriots. Thank you very, very much. Additionally, we would like to have a little memento of this occasion go home with you. This is our Red Friday lapel pin, and we hope that you will be able to wear this with pride and promote this Red Friday program amongst not only your veteran but your patriot friends.
Thank you, Battle. Thank you sincerely.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And Rebecca, thank you for joining us today as well. Thank you. May I have a hooah for this man?
Sorry, that's for all of you, not for me, but you know.
This coming Sunday, December 7, is National Pearl Harbor Remembrance Day. On December 7, 1941, the United States, a neutral, virtually isolationist, non-combatant nation that had been free of armed conflict for 17 long years, was drawn into a full-scale world war with the bombing of Pearl Harbor. You all know the events that transpired on that disastrous day. On Sunday morning, December 7, 1941, the Imperial Japanese Navy Air Service attacked the neutral United States at Naval Station Pearl Harbor near Honolulu, Hawaii, killing 2,403 Americans and injuring 1,178 others. After the dust had settled, the 2,403 people killed in the attack were identified as 2,008 Navy personnel, 109 Marines, 218 Army, 68 civilians. A majority of those killed came from the USS Arizona. In fact, 1,177 crew members from Arizona perished. The attack sank 4 U.S. Navy battleships, damaged 4 others. It also damaged 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 1 mine layer. There were 188 aircraft destroyed and 159 aircraft damaged. Enormous damage and human toll. The attack led the United States being drawn into a world war the very next day. A war that we had tried our best to avoid. And after 4 long years of fighting, the human toll of World War II ultimately cost 418,000 American lives and 671,000 casualties. Unimaginable. In the gift shop of the USS Arizona Memorial in Hawaii, there's a small book for sale entitled Reflections on Pearl Harbor by Admiral Chester Nimitz. And the book is a reflection back on Sunday, December 7th, 1941. Admiral Chester Nimitz was attending a concert in Washington, D.C. He was paged, and he was told there was a phone call for him. When he answered the phone, it was President Franklin Roosevelt on the phone. He told Admiral Nimitz that he would now be the commander of the Pacific Fleet. Admiral Nimitz flew to Hawaii in order to assume command of the Pacific Fleet. He landed at Pearl Harbor on Christmas Eve, 1941. There was such a spirit of despair, dejection, and defeat, you would have thought the Japanese had already won the war. On Christmas Day, 1941, Admiral Nimitz was given a boat tour of the destruction in the Pearl Harbor area. Big sunken battleships and Navy vessels just cluttered the waters. As the tour boat returned to dock, the young helmsman of the boat asked, "Well, Admiral, what do you think after seeing all this destruction?" Admiral Nimitz's reply shocked everyone within the sound of his voice. Admiral Nimitz said, "The Japanese made 3 of the biggest mistakes an attack force could ever make. Or God was taking care of America. Which do you think it was?" Shocked and surprised, the young helmsman asked, "What do you mean by saying the Japanese made the 3 biggest mistakes an attack force ever made?" Nimitz explained. Mistake number 1, the Japanese attacked on Sunday morning. 9 out of every 10 crewmen of those ships were ashore on leave. If those same ships had been lured to sea and been sunk, we would have lost 38,000 men instead of 3,800. Mistake number 2, when the Japanese saw all those battleships lined in a row, they got so carried away sinking those battleships, they never once bombed our dry docks opposite those ships. If they had destroyed our dry docks, we would have had to tow every one of those ships to America to be repaired. As it is now, the ships are in shallow water and can be raised. One tug can pull them over to the dry docks, and we can have them repaired and at sea by the time we could have towed them to America. And I already have crews ashore anxious to man those ships. Mistake number 3, every drop of fuel in the Pacific theater of war is in top of the ground storage tanks 5 miles away over the hill. One attack plane could have scarfed those tanks and destroyed our fuel supply. That's why I say the Japanese made 3 of the biggest mistakes an attack force could make, or God was taking care of America. In jest, one might suggest that because Admiral Nimitz was a Texan, born and raised in Fredericksburg, Texas, he was a born optimist. But any way you look at it, Admiral Nimitz was able to see a silver lining in a situation and circumstance where everyone else saw only despair and defeatism. President Roosevelt had chosen the right man for the right job. We desperately needed a leader that could see silver linings in the midst of the clouds of dejection, despair, and defeat. Lest we forget Pearl Harbor, December 7, 1941. I do have a couple of announcements that I would like to make. Just as a reminder, we have guest speakers scheduled for next Friday, December 12, as well as December 19. Please plan to attend to support those speakers that will be spending a lot of time preparing for their presentations. And yes, we will have our routine Friday assembly here the day following Christmas on December 26th. So please plan to attend, because at the very least, coming here to pay tribute to our deployed warfighters will give you more time to think about what you're going to do with those pink and green Grandpa, we love you socks that you were gifted on Christmas morning. Also, regarding our custom-printed Red Friday shirts, now that Barry has returned from his 2 weeks jaunt to Tennessee, if you wish to place orders for shirts, Barry will be happy to receive those after our dismissal. Also, he will hopefully have those shirts that have already been ordered in his absence. He will have those here next Friday. We're going to do our best to make sure that happens. And a final reminder, please leave your name badges at the greeting desk upon your departure. The badges and those smiling faces of our Red Friday greeters will be awaiting you on your arrival next week. And also, to our guests, thank you so very much for joining us today. We sincerely hope that you will return and share in our camaraderie and support our mission. Please know that you'll always be welcome at these Red Friday assemblies. And I would like for you, Keith, is that correct? I would like for you, when we finished, let us get a photograph of you up here. We like mug shots of our visitors. So as a final reminder, let us not overlook the importance of Red Friday mission, to keep our deployed warfighters in our thoughts and prayers, and to continue to demonstrate our support for these fine men and women. Enjoy your weekend.